This is a dense tropical rainforest. A towering tree grows in the very center. Under its canopy live many different species. Here you can see various kinds of ants, fish, slugs, amphibians, and an astonishing number of isopods, among others, like a hidden corner of the earth. Ready? Next, I'll show you how we went from an empty tank to today's thriving ecosystem, and present to you the spectacular moments of the hunt, and how the animals live together and breed. We still begin with a water section, because a rainforest ecosystem has both land and rivers. So first we divide the tank into two zones. Then place a tangle of branches in the middle, and beneath the branches, we ring a circular pond with stones. Next, we think about water circulation. A water pump is needed here. But around the pump, we build a protective filter. Then bury the pump space under the outer substrate. This white separator is very important. It prevents mud that forms from mixing with water pooled at the bottom. For appearance, you can glue some rocks onto a large, flat stone. So when the pump runs, it creates a small, pretty stream. Finally, fill the gaps between the pond stones with gravel and soil. Then, according to your taste, add decorative driftwood and different kinds of plants, which will promote biodiversity. At last, pour the source of life into the pond water. With that, the basic habitat for plants and animals is ready. It's time to introduce animals. First to move in is a raider ant colony, also known as Asian army ants. Once they find food, they divide it up in a truly terrifying way. Males differ greatly in size from ordinary workers, and later grow wings and can fly. The one he's interacting closely with now is the queen. After each mating, she can lay thousands of eggs, expanding the colony. When these eggs hatch, they become minor workers, and ultimately super workers. A colony can reach hundreds of thousands. At this moment you can clearly see large super workers here, with smaller workers riding on them, like tiny ants driving giant tanks. Their ability to cooperate is superb. To quickly move them into the new habitat, we had to be a little rough. We simply brought over the log they had been living in, so they could adapt quickly to the new environment. Then, using a shovel, we scooped out the queens and the colony from their underground earthen chambers and moved them. Although it looked rough, believe me, we were extremely careful, and the queens weren't hurt at all. Finally, all the soy and other workers were carried over. The two queens were safely delivered to their new kingdom. Let them slowly explore this world that is both familiar and strange. We still have other new tenants to range. Look, there's a very nice little slope here, with green hills and flowing water, Perfect for crickets. It's time to bring them in. Crickets are delightful insects. And they reproduce quickly, providing a steady food source for all the predators here. So let's hope they breed well. They settled in as soon as they arrived, digging naturally as if in the wild, and burying their eggs in the soil. Now you can also see more raider ants prowling around, either exploring nests or foraging. Next, we added some eggs of Triops tadpole shrimp into the river. They're prehistoric aquatic animals from the dinosaur era. Hopefully this time, they'll hatch smoothly. The rainforest's humidity is perfect for life. The raider ants have welcomed their first aquatic corner. These are fire-bellied newt larvae, and placing them here is also to keep them from being eaten by their parents. As mentioned before in another setup, fire-bellied newts do eat their young. Remember, living here with them is also a shoal of spiny fish from Southeast Asia. We hope they will breed and thrive here. From time to time, you can spot a red shrimp frolicking in the water. Next, the animals we add are crucial. They are decomposers, mainly isopods, springtails, and earthworms. They will continuously clean the habitat and become the first backbone animals that keep the system running. Some isopods that are a bit too brave have already wandered underwater, not knowing predators are waiting there. The newts are definitely among the main hunters. The gears of life have begun to turn. It's a great start. Everything in the ecosystem is slowly changing. These aren't springtails. They too are decomposers. I hope they establish a thriving colony here. They will help break down animal remains. They look cute and even aesthetic. Little ones, good luck to you. Next is an epic isopod species. They have a white pattern down the middle, so they're called panda kings. Right now, there are no predators in here that threaten them. We hope they'll reproduce somehow and build a colony. Good luck to you too. Now on stage are the lovable slugs. They're a very affectionate couple. Consider this your honeymoon in a new place. It'd be even better if you can breed here. I can't wait to see your adorable babies. They're sure to be very cute. Next comes a kind of cockroach, like the panda king isopods. It also has a white stripe down the middle. So why not just call it the panda roach? However, as you can see, these youngsters are still very young, without the white color yet. Right now they're living underground, digging burrows, awaiting our next meeting, hopefully emerging as fully grown adults, with wings and white markings, adding beauty to this ecosystem, and becoming prey for predators. This is a fluorescent millipede. They're decomposers as well, feeding on lots of remains in the habitat. Obviously, Their outer bodies have many yellow substances. Does anyone know why? We also added another unknown tropical millipede species. Does anyone recognize it? They grow much longer than expected. Hopefully next time we meet, they'll surprise us, reaching 15 centimeters or so. Giant little monsters. These fellows are exploring their new home now, and they clearly love it here, because there's food everywhere for them, and countless crevices to explore. Perhaps to them, this is a true jungle or paradise. From time to time, new Decomposer friends join them for a meal. Here, you can also see an activity hub, where most animals gather at night. However, we still haven't seen the roaches appear. Not sure what they're up to. They don't seem like shy guys. The raider ants are up foraging, and they've now settled in. It's great to see how quickly they adapted. I'm not sure what the millipedes eat here, but everything looks really good and calm. However, with a wave of new predators about to enter, everything is going to change. For the balance of the ecosystem, introducing predators is essential, and it will also let us witness the wonderful interactions between predators and prey. At the end of the video, you'll see the apex predator among them. Who could it be? Take a guess first. Starting now, we'll introduce the smallest, most controversial, and arguably fiercest resident. This mantis. It's from Southeast Asia, adept at ambush hunting, and perfect for this place. I've heard they can grow quite large, but I'm not sure if that's this species. As much as I'd like to see it grow, I still hope it won't get too big, because some giant mantises are the only insects known to prey on birds. Not just tiny hummingbirds, but also wrens in Europe, sunbirds and flycatchers, wagtails, stonocats, and more. If it truly grew into such a beast, we'd have to remove it. But for now it's doing great. Eating insects is very good for maintaining balance. The next predator is a species of ant that loves humid environments. It's not well known, so we plan to place them in a damp area. This small colony has one queen, and some males and brood. The queen is hard to tell apart here, as her size is similar, and so is her build. But as you can see, she differs from her males, with a slightly larger thorax, giving her more strength in natural fights, and supporting prolonged battles. We place them where it's more humid. From their original little nest, they peeked out curiously, checking the surroundings. To welcome them, we added some prey items for their hunt. These new ants took some time to move out, but my goodness, it turned out they found an even wetter spot to nest, right under the wood beneath the old nest. They became the second ant household to settle here. The Decomposers cleanup crew now has to be more cautious, because these predators are hunting right beside them. Even underwater battles are happening. A fire-bellied newt is madly tackling a huge prey, an earthworm that fell into the water. It never imagined it would become the newt's meal. The newt always bites the middle first, then moves to the other end, trying to go from end to end and swallow the entire worm. It's an amazing tactic and a crazy plan. Can such a small body handle such a big worm? But this one is the most successful newt so far, and possibly the land-conquering newt of adulthood. Compared with the newt, the worm's body is enormous. I'm unsure whether to stop it or let it continue. Friends who keep newts, please comment below or discuss whether this is normal behavior. The entire worm kept sliding down the newt's body, but during the process, we never saw the newt get fat. The worm struggled desperately, and finally, along the rocks on the bottom, escaped at the cost of half its body. Normally I also feed them water fleas. Maybe they got tired of it and wanted a change of taste. Poor earthworm. As you can see here, these water fleas will be gone in a single night. The next predatory element is an unknown hunting ant. We added this colony, hoping these ants would keep their group small, focus on foraging, and not directly compete with other ants. While introducing them, we first placed some dead crickets, thinking their colony would feed at night. Unexpectedly, the raider ant colony got wind of it, came from far away, and carried the crickets off. Incredibly, even as they dragged their precious crickets past the entrances of these ants' nests, there was no response, so laid back and go with the flow. What on earth are they doing? Fortunately, we saw movement in the test tubes and knew they were still alive and well. It seems these guys don't want to move out yet, so we won't wait for them. Let them take their time to adapt, and they'll come out naturally when ready. Now it's time to introduce the apex predator. Any large ecosystem like this needs a great predator. Like in the dinosaur age, carnivorous dinosaurs could contend with the biggest herbivores, protecting plants from being wiped out. It almost made them look like the good guys. For this ecosystem, we chose a truly fearsome apex predator, a giant Vietnamese centipede. It can reach 20 centimeters long and hunt many juicy inhabitants. On the front of its head is a pair of modified legs, used to inject venom into prey, also called forcepules of fangs. It eats almost every living animal it meets that isn't longer than itself. Imagining its hunts is definitely very cool. This time I won't handle it by hand. I'll leave that chance to you, or I might not be able to update you next time. Lastly, these Triops ants haven't been introduced yet. They are extremely fierce. Look at this poor bug. It's pinned down in an instant. And other ants rush in upon sensing it. They also have an unbelievable and interesting behavior. A very agile cast can relocate the nest quickly, moving the entire colony to the latest food cache. Most importantly, they can challenge the raider ants, which could trigger an ant war. If you see that iconic scene, you'll be leaping out of bed with excitement. Today's video is about to end. How the centipede hunts the ant war, and the survival of the other animals will be shown in the next video. Please look forward to it. The ecosystem simulation will continue to update, and the Animal Woolen series is coming soon. Watch animals vie for supremacy. Lastly, thanks for watching and subscribe my channel. Have a wonderful day. And see you next time.